Hey Rob, we're back.
Yeah, we are. Hey, Jim, how's everything?
Everything's good. Everything's good. I had a few experiences this week. I don't have to go into detail, but I think no matter what you buy in the world today, service, higher end products, whatever it is, you see the people that are on the low end, and you're like, wow, that's a really good price. That's really cheap. You see people on the higher end, and sometimes you wonder, why would I pay more than I have to when this is just a kind of a simple, straightforward type of a transaction or service or product. But then over time, you begin to learn from your personal experience, bad customer service, things get not done properly. And you see more and more of this. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because in the shipping industry, if you go online and you look at some of these reviews that some of the international shipping companies have, they're really poor. And I know that SDC International Shipping goes out of their way to provide a good customer experience for their clients.
Mhm.
And in order to do that, right, explain maybe how a person who's never done this before can kind of navigate the waters and not become one of those people that gets stuck in a situation that hindsight is going to be 2020. But I guess do your best to explain how to avoid getting stuck with a bad company and having a bad experience, which
Yeah, the
is
bad
super
experience.
stressful.
Yeah, I mean, people that are moving internationally typically have a lot on their plate. I'm thinking only of one thing: shipping door to door, moving and making sure everything's right. But those people who are actually doing the moving, they have a lot of things on their plate, lots of moving parts. And so it's important to make sure that we take away all that stress and we just handle it. Now, it's a really good topic, super good topic, and I could spend all day talking about it because it's so important. Um, SDC, I tell clients, SDC is not going to be the cheapest quote or estimate. We're not, but we're going to be the most honest. And typically at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we will be the cheapest. And the reason I say that is because what some companies may do, and they do, is they just provide a quote real quick, low, the lowest possible solution that may not dovetail at all with what the client needs, you
Mm,
know? And so they get that low price and then, oh, well, yeah, you're going to have to load the semi yourself. I didn't mention that. Oh, yeah. Well, if you're going to
mm.
load it, we're going to have to add more money, add more money. Um, Perhaps they'll use an ocean vessel shipping option that is unrealistic. And so now everything's picked up and
Mm-hmm.
it's in a container and it's waiting to get on a boat. But at that price, it can't get on a boat. So it's waiting and waiting. And now you get storage fees. And this
Oh.
is where you'll read about people's nightmares of, they said it was going to be 2 months to wherever. And 6 months later, I think it's still in the United States, and they may say, well, I can maybe get it out now, but I'm going to need more money, that kind of thing. So basically what I tell people is we're not going to be the least expensive up front in the quote, typically. But at the end of the day, in terms of the deliverable, we're going to be the least expensive, in my opinion, because we just take care of everything. We're experienced doing this. The other thing that I'll say is that there are different grades of anything that you purchase. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to go, you could buy what's an inexpensive car, really inexpensive car.
Hyundai.
The Hyundai, the lowest end Hyundai that there is. You can go buy that car. You can also get a Toyota Camry. You can also get a Lexus.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to go get Ferrari.
Mm.
We can deliver Ferrari.
Mm.
Okay. But we try to stay in that Lexus zone. You know, it's not overboard. We provide exactly what you need and we're honest with the quote. So that's what we really try to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know SEC, a lot of people go over to the UK from the United States. You serve a lot of
Yeah.
those types of clients. And the people
Absolutely.
who are on the other side over in the UK that are there for the unloading, these are the same people, right? They're trained and they've been working with you for a while now.
Yeah, that's one of the key ingredients. for doing this thing the right way and not just quoting low. And then some companies just scramble around, try to find someone who will do that piece of the job. Maybe it's a delivery from London to wherever, or, from Felixstowe or Southampton to wherever,
Yeah.
as cheaply as possible so that they can make money. And they don't have any idea perhaps who that company even is. They may have never used them before.
Hmm.
What we do is almost every country in the world, we have a partner, and it's an extension of us, and we're an extension of them as well. They understand what our practices are. We understand what their best practices are and how we do things and how we take care of clients. So it's a really a known entity, known quantity to get this done. Like I said, a lot of companies would just go, who can I use today to try to maximize my profit?
Yeah.
Because who's going to do it for less? Will they? They may do it for less, but will they really do it? And that's the challenge.
So one of the things that could really affect the bottom line is you have a household goods in a container just sitting there waiting to be loaded onto a boat, and basically you're
Sometimes
paying storage fees. What do you
that
guys
can
do to
happen.
avoid that happening? Is there a certain process? I'm just curious.
Well, there's a number of steps involved, but let's say I'm talking to a client and we're going to pick up everything on October the 15th. She's going from San Francisco to London. All right.
Mm.
I'll ask the client up front, October the 15th, that's the pickup date? Yes. Are you flexible? Because, we might need to do some packing, and depending how large the house is, the packing could take 1 day or even 2 days. And then there's the loading day. So I'm going to ask, how flexible are you?
Mm.
And the reason for that is, if they're absolutely not flexible, I have to make sure I can get a container to their home, and that container is going to go from the home onto an ocean vessel pretty quickly. Otherwise,
Yeah.
that the storage starts kicking in. If there's no ocean vessel available for 2 weeks, I'm not going to live load something into a container because I know it's going to sit in the container and be stored for a while. That's expensive.
I
So we'll
got
try to
you.
match that up. The client may say, "Oh, I'm very flexible." So then, okay, you're very flexible. Now we're going to start. Our logistics team is going to start working on, okay, when can we get an ocean vessel locked? Can always get the shipping container. Then we'll come back and say, how about this date? How about this set of dates? If they say good, good. The
Yeah.
other thing with that, though, to keep in mind is many companies will always quote the lowest possible cost, whether it's realistic or not. So they'll say, we're going to do a live load into a container at your home. Well, that's not always possible for a couple of reasons. First of all, the shipping container is on a proper chassis and it's tall. So we need at least 15 feet clearance. There can't be any low power lines. There can't be any big
Mm.
low branches. The street can't be too narrow because this thing's the container's going to sit there even with a live load for 3 or 4 hours, just loading it, right? Then access can, if it's in like the windy Hollywood Hills, no, I can't do a live load there. There's no way the semi-type truck is going to go up there. And then do we have ingress and egress? Can I get up there and then can't get back? What are going to back up?
Mm.
So sometimes cul-de-sacs are tough,
Yeah.
especially like a 40-foot container at a cul-de-sac. I probably can't navigate that to get back out.
Yeah.
So we look at all of these things. It's so important
Wow.
so that when we quote a client, we really attempt to understand all the needs, the true situation, if there's any flexibility, so that we can come back with the best possible price, but actually deliver the service.
Yeah. So some of these other companies that aren't maybe they're just after the bottom line. You're like another number on a conveyor belt. They don't really spend that much time interacting with an individual and finding out all of the details maybe until the last minute, and that's what changes everything, right? With the price.
I can't say that they don't. I don't want to say that,
Yeah.
but I know that we do.
Yeah.
And I've read and heard so many horror stories
Yeah.
firsthand, and I've read about them. And it just seems like that is a very common practice to just get the booking, pick the stuff up, and then you're off to the races. We can't do that. We're going to need this much more. Oh, we can't do that. We didn't know this. We got this much more. And oh, you want this done. Oh, and you didn't tell me about this. And,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
got
then
you.
suddenly the bill is way more than what the quote was. And that's just not, it's another problem for the client that they don't need.
Yeah.
And I always tell people this: at the end of the day, what we're looking for, we got to keep the lights on, and like I said, I like to eat dinner and go to the movies once in a while, make a normal profit at best. But what we're really trying to do besides those things is get a satisfied client, because what really helps us is a good review.
Yeah.
So that good review is what strengthens our brand and lets other future clients understand what service we deliver. So it's really important for us to make sure that we've done everything possible for a smooth transaction.
Yeah. That's great.
And another thing I tell people is that, look, anyone on just about any job of this size could lower their price by $100. I don't know if it's a good business practice or not, but anyone could do it. So I tell people, look, I've seen everything that you need. We've talked about everything. I understand your situation. Here's my price. And if someone's coming back, $5,000 less than me, or $3,000, or even $2,000 less than me, stop and consider what you're getting and why that would be,
Yeah.
because there's not that much room to play. So there's something unusual there.
That's a good way to put it. I never really thought about it like you just mentioned it, but if you're comparing apples to apples, there really isn't that much of a variance. But if you're
Apples,
comparing,
apples to apples. Yeah.
yeah, but if
That's the point.
so, if there's a $2,000 difference, then what you're getting is going to obviously be different,
Right.
right?
Right. Yep. So
Less,
you go into, name the appliance center here, and you're getting a new refrigerator.
yeah,
And two refrigerators look very similar, and one's 3,500 and the other one's $800, but or $1,200. They look similar.
yeah,
There's a difference. It's not just
yeah,
branding. I mean, some things
yeah,
do that. Some companies will sell the same product with different labels,
yeah,
because some people want to spend more, some people want to spend middle, some people want a little bit of a bargain. I understand that. I think that's done quite often in the makeup and cosmetics industry. There's different levels, but they're the same. But yeah, if you see something that is just dramatically less, but seems or is being kind of billed as being the same, that doesn't quite make sense.
yeah. Especially when you're talking about a service like this, because we're talking about packing supplies. There's only so much of a variance. You're
Yeah,
talking about the cost of shipping. Again, there's only so much wiggle room, whether you're
it's
talking
not much
about the
wiggle room.
sea or the air.
That's
And you're
right.
talking about people lifting and moving. There's only so much of a variance. So it's not
Well,
like, oh, this
yeah,
is a brand shirt, or that's a Gucci pocketbook, which is really
right.
just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the other pocketbook says Gucci.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that does come into play, but in this business, some of the corners that can be cut are just basically quoting on something that isn't going to meet the client's needs. Client
Yeah.
doesn't want to do a live load, can't do a live load. Maybe it's predicated upon the client actually loading the container. That's called a self-load live load. It's 4.5 feet off the ground. There's no ramps. So
Mm.
surprise, we quoted you based on these things that you cannot possibly utilize. I've seen situations where the company will quote door to port. They just get it to the port, and and they say, well, we got to clear customs to get it. I want door to door. Oh, that's not what we quoted you.
I
So
got you.
that's, again, it comes down to apples to apples. It's not apples to apples usually. So I just tell clients to take a look, and if the differential, if the price delta is significant, really significant, come talk to me. Let's talk about why that might be, and I can maybe guide you.
Yeah, that's great information. Rob, we'll put your number on the screen. For
Great.
those of you watching, SDC International Shipping.com is a website. There's a lot of great information there too. And as always, whenever you're talking about this topic, I learn a little bit more.
I think I do too. The more you kind of go over it in your head, you remind yourself of little details. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Rob. Hey, great info as always. I'll catch up with you in the next
Thanks.
video.
Sounds good, Jim. Be
All
good.
right. See you later.
See you later.